As far as trade unions are concerned, it was a high-powered meeting, with representatives of Unite also present. Francisco Carbonero from Comisiones Obreras said his concerns were not the politics or the flags, but the people from all communities in the area. He was reassured by the meeting, saying he now felt normality was possible.
A nosotros nos preocupan las personas. Por tanto, nosotros venimos no preocupados por las banderas de Margallo, sino por los trabajadores, por las trabajadoras y por los ciudadanos y ciudadanas de España y de Gibraltar.
The unions agreed to take the message that Gibraltar solves many of Spain's employment problems to politicians and EU institutions. Speaking for UGT, Carmen Castilla stressed the importance of Gibraltar to the Campo's economy. The uncertainty, she said, had the secondary effect of making people tighten their belts, translating into a shrinking of the economy. The Chief Minister said he welcomed the fact that the unions had wanted to meet with the Gibraltar government. Fabian Picardo said it had been important to stress Gibraltar was not the barrier to free movement.
Said to the unions, is what I said to Juan Franco on Friday, that Gibraltar guarantees it will always allow free movement of people across that frontier, and if those are workers, they'll know that they'll be able to access their workplaces. But of course, it's not just workers that need to get in. You need to have the tourists that the workers serve get in. You need to have those who are going to be running companies in Gibraltar, where these workers are going to work at all levels of industry in Gibraltar. So those issues, from the point of view of the government of Gibraltar, are never going to be things that we're going to interfere with. But I've also made the point to the unions represented here today that it is becoming increasingly clear that the government of Spain, its caretaker capacity through Señor Margallo, the caretaker foreign minister, insisting that if Gibraltar wants to continue to enjoy those benefits of free movement and access to the single market, then there is a price that we have to pay, and that price is joint sovereignty. And this weekend he has expressed that in terms of a direct and clear threat. He has said that if we want to stay in the European Union, in the single market, if we have free movement, that's the price. Otherwise, it's going to be very cold for us outside the EU. And I think it's important that people in Spain understand, therefore, that the only potential barrier to things continuing as they are, namely Gibraltar creating employment and giving employment to almost 10,000 people across that frontier, to being a quarter of the GDP of the region, is the idea that somebody could set up a price for us, which they know we are not prepared to pay, and in that way somehow affect normality.
I asked the Chief Minister whether the meeting had been more a courtesy to allay fears, as there was little Gibraltar could do to ensure freedom of movement in the event of a Brexit.
Well, look, I don't think that Gibraltar is powerless in this. I think we have the opportunity of shaping our future. The mandate that the people of Gibraltar gave me is the most powerful weapon in my arsenal as I try and make the arguments for us to continue to have access to the single market and to the European Union, to have that free-flowing frontier. The unions have left understanding the importance to their members in the region and understanding also where the potential problem lies and how it is that that needs to be dealt with at a European level. The United Kingdom, I think, is increasingly clear of what the potential problem for Gibraltar is. Look, I think that there are 27 member states left in the European Union, 26 of them, and the European institutions, I think, would welcome the fact that Gibraltar has voted so massively to remain and would want to help us to continue to have that access. I don't think the United Kingdom would have a problem with Gibraltar continuing to have that access, whether we're talking about the Greenland option or anything else. I mean, everything is far too fluid at the moment to say this is the option we're going to go for. There is only the problem of one member state that might see this as an opportunity to persecute its case against us and in respect of our sovereignty. The unions are clear that what matters to them is jobs, what matters to them is Gibraltar's positive economic contribution to the whole of the Campo de Gibraltar. It could be even greater, as I've said to them, but we just have to get it right in Europe. We have to get it right as we fashion the future in the way that we think is right for people in Gibraltar and for the whole area. And that means ensuring that obstacles like the one now being potentially put in our way by the caretaker Spanish foreign minister have to be dealt with now at the beginning.
Comisiones Obreras and UGT believe the Spanish central government has turned its back on the Campo and say they will lobby to ensure it does not remain a forgotten part of Spain. They advocated closer cooperation with Gibraltar.